You want a great meal, like a great shepherd's pie, Louisiana style? Come on along with us. Let's get started. All right, we got the pot heating up. We got one fine diced yellow onion. We're gonna saute that until they get clear. All right, we're getting them onions sauteed down. And while we wait for that to get a little bit closer to where we want it. You know, this dish is a dish like a lot of dishes. This one comes from Ireland. And just like a lot of the old Cajun dishes and so many other dishes, they were inspired by people in poor times where they had to, you know, make do with what they had. And, you know, the old shepherds were out there and working the animals, and they didn't have a whole lot. And sometimes they just had to gather what they had, put it all in a pot, cook it, and make the best out of it. And that's how this come about, just like a lot of old gumbos today and jambalas. It's all the folks trying to stretch food. And that's what makes these old meals so awesome to cook and think about the times of how they came about and how much we still enjoy them today. Hey guys, now traditionally this would be lamb. We're gonna do a little bit of just ground meat, that's all I'm gonna say. You can use what you want. I can tell you, deer meat does really good. Elk does really good. We got that old voodoo. Now, I'm pretty sure they didn't have this in the day, but I done left that stuff outside. There you go, we got a little voodoo in there. We're gonna throw a little bit of this sea salt. Woo! Now we're gonna brown her down, get it cooked up. All right, guys, so we got the old meat looking like we want it. Y'all check it out right here. Ooh, that's what I'm talking about. Boy, I could eat that right down on some tortillas. But we're gonna get 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Now we're gonna give that a good stirring. Get it blended into everything. We're gonna let that tomato paste cook down a little bit. Boy, look at that already. Ooh, you know that's gonna be good. I guarantee. Now we're gonna leave the lid off of it, and we're gonna keep an eye on it and let this cook for probably about 3 to 5 minutes. And then we're gonna add some beef broth. All right, guys, so it's been about 4 minutes. You can kind of see we got it all good and incorporated. You want to keep an eye on it, let that cook for a little bit. Now we're gonna add about a cup and a half of beef broth. And we're gonna give this a good cleaning and stirring. We got our heat. Right now we're probably running about a medium high heat. We're running about 500, 525. And we're gonna put the lid, and we're gonna let this cook and simmer for about 7 to 10 minutes. But we're gonna keep an eye on it, make sure we don't ball all our liquid out and burn it. All right, let's take a look at this. It's been about 3 or 4 minutes. Oh yeah, we're gonna let that go for a few more minutes. And while we wait on this to cook and get like we want, we've got the potatoes boiling to make our mashed potatoes. And most of y'all watched any of my videos, y'all know I have a thing where I call some mashed potatoes and I call some cream potatoes. For this, we're gonna make mashed potatoes, and I'm gonna show you the difference here in a little bit. All right, we're gonna add our vegetables. Guys, some of the things we do, we like doing a lot of soups and different things, even the shepherd's pie. We've got carrots, peas, corn. You can see it's all mixed up in here. It's in this sealed jar. We're gonna add this to our shepherd's pie mix. That's just 1 pint jar. We're gonna give that a stir. We left the liquids in it. We're gonna let this cook and reduce down for a few more minutes. And that's the great thing about enjoying life, cooking outside the way we do. Y'all can see when we started this, it was good in daylight. Now it's dark out. You know, but that's the enjoyment of all this, the enjoyment of life is not getting in a hurry, just enjoying the great things of life, like cooking these great meals, hanging out with family. So many of the things that have just gotten lost throughout time, which is why we went back to doing the things we were doing. Now we've got our potatoes. Y'all can see, I'm gonna give them a small mashing. And for those of you that have asked in the past the difference between what I call mashed potatoes and what I call cream potatoes, well, this is a small mashing. I've got a stick of butter. We're gonna throw the whole stick in there. Now, this butter is not thawed out, so we're gonna kind of help it out. Now, the potatoes are hot, so it's not gonna take very long for it to melt that butter, but we're gonna cover it up, let it set for just a minute. In the meantime, we got a little heavy grain sea salt. Right about now, half of you are hollering for the black pepper. I personally don't do black pepper because it doesn't dissolve. My voodoo has got 4 different red peppers that do dissolve, and it's just a lot healthier for you. Now we're gonna give this a mashing. Now cream potatoes at this point, I would probably add a heavy cream or a half and half or even just a whole milk. And we would make this a whole lot more watery. And then we would whoop the shit out of it. Like literally, we would just try to disintegrate every piece of potato. But I'm not gonna do that today. We're gonna let this kind of go the way it is. You can see it's a little bit thicker. The butter's still melting. We're gonna get a little bit more liquid in here. And then I've got some fresh ground mozzarella. I'm gonna add some of that in here. Oh, right about now, y'all were probably wishing y'all had smell-o-vision, because between the fire, the meat cooking, and these old potatoes, look how that's already starting to come together really well. Well, we got one done escape. So as you can see, this is a little bit thick. This would be what I call mashed potatoes, not cream potatoes. But we're gonna check on this, let it reduce down to the liquid is almost completely out. And once we get to that point, y'all know what's gonna happen. We're gonna put the love on top, put a little coals on the lid, and we're gonna finish cooking this. But now, as I said, it's gotten dark. We got a little time. I think we need to get a cold beer and wait for this to cook. Let everything come together like it should be. Don't rush life. It's passing fast enough already. All right, guys, old shepherd pie is coming together. We got everything cooked down. Look at this. Ooh, that is beautiful. Now, I'm gonna take this off the fire, put it over here. We're gonna kind of smoothen this out. They ain't gotta be perfect. Hell, look at where we at. We're just living life. Got the old potato. We're gonna get the potatoes in here. Now, I know some of y'all are saying, ooh, them potatoes are stiff. We kind of want them stiff. They got the cheese in there. We're gonna get the old potatoes in here. Get the bowl out the way. Now these potatoes are stiff, I'm not gonna lie to you. Look at that cheese stretch over there. Gonna get the old potatoes shoved around. Now, like I said, this is just my take on a shepherd's pie. You can do it however you want. I love this just the way it is. Got that old seasoning on there. Got all that goodness on there. Now we're gonna get the lid on this. All right, we still got our heat on the bottom. We're gonna get the old lid put on here. Take this handle off. We're gonna get us a little coals out the old fireplace. We're gonna cover the top of this. Oh yeah, that's where it's at right there. We're gonna cook them potatoes from on top. We're gonna check it in about maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes. Pull the top off. We're gonna get some more cheese put on there. Let that cook for another 2 or 3 minutes. Oh, this is gonna come together like you don't believe it's gonna be good. All right, let's look at that old, my version of the shepherd's pie. Ooh, man. Now what I'm gonna do, I got the coals off the lid. I'm gonna pop this old handle up. I'm gonna set this up here. And we're gonna let this cool off for about 10 to 15 minutes. Cause I'll be honest, I like eating spicy stuff, but I don't like eating nothing this hot. Guys, here you have it, the shepherd's pie. Here it is on my plate. I just wanna say again, as always, there are some awesome meals out there. And as we talked about earlier a little bit, they all come from, the best meals I think come from the hardest times that our ancestors had. Shepherd's pie is one of those. Again, just like if you're from Louisiana, the gumbo, the jambalayas, the etouffees, all of that came from hard times, people using everything they had. But I've got to say, for my version of a shepherd's pie, we used a different meat, we used the Cajun seasoning. This is on point. Ton ça c'est bon.